We have breaking news right now. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth has essentially ordered the entire Pentagon and United States military to go out and see whether service members have said any inappropriate comments following the death of Charlie Kirk. And if they have, then he wants them punished. He wants them potentially reprimanded, suspended, or even terminated from the United States military. And this is not just military service members, it's anyone connected to the Pentagon, military contractors, defense contractors, HR employees, anyone and everyone associated with the Department of Defense who has made inappropriate comments about Charlie Kirk's shooting may be fired. And Hegseth has really doubled down and tripled down on this idea that anyone should be reprimanded, anyone should be punished. He's not the only one. School teachers across the country are facing discipline right now. At least 12 professors and school teachers have been disciplined in some way, shape, or form from Oklahoma to Florida to Tennessee and Texas and everywhere in between, with teachers and professors being suspended and 2 being completely fired now as a result of making inappropriate comments regarding the Charlie Kirk shooting. Right now, Florida Department of Education has announced that it will be examining and investigating any teacher that it thinks has made an inappropriate comment about Charlie Kirk following the shooting. Oklahoma Superintendent Ryan Walters has announced something similar. Expect Texas and Tennessee and some of these other conservative states to soon follow suit as they all go after teachers within their jurisdictions. Why? Because a lot of folks on the far right are actually blaming teachers, are actually blaming universities and professors for the radicalization of individuals, saying that they make them radically left, which there's no basis in truth to that. But they are targeting teachers and professors. They're targeting military members and service members and defense contractors and others associated with the Department of Defense. But that's not all. Individuals have been fired from MSNBC. Matthew Dowd was fired for making inappropriate comments on air. A Carolina Panthers employee was fired. Journalist was fired. And there is an even doxing website currently being put together by far-right figures where individuals can anonymously submit the names of people they believe are making inappropriate comments about Charlie Kirk following the shooting so that they can expose these individuals on the internet, from nurses to teachers to HR professionals, contractors, and anyone and everyone in between. There is this website that is now being put together and this spreadsheet that people say will be made public soon. Now, meanwhile, Laura Loomer and other far-right figures are demanding that the Trump administration declare the transgender movement, which is what they say in their own words, a domestic terrorism movement. They are blaming the shooting of Charlie Kirk on trans-related issues, despite the fact that the Wall Street Journal has since recanted a prior report suggesting that the bullet casings had inscription of transgender ideology on them. That turned out to be completely untrue. And there is no evidence at this moment that the shooter was trans or that the shooter was motivated by some type of trans ideology to conduct the shooting. So despite that, they're still running with it. And Elon Musk has declared that this is the left's fault, saying that the left is complicit in murder. People online are saying that this is war. And tensions are really ratcheting up. They're ratcheting it up fast. And it's honestly a very scary time for a lot of people online. A lot of people are receiving threats. A lot of people are being doxxed, all in real time. And it doesn't seem like it's ending anytime soon. Now, here's the thing. The investigation into the shooting remains ongoing. We still don't know who the motive or what the motive is. We have no idea. We don't know whether this shooter was far right, whether he was far left, whether he was just a random, unaffiliated person who just was mentally ill. We don't know. And until we know, it is completely irresponsible to speculate. But that hasn't stopped many, especially those on the right, from speculating. Donald Trump, in his first address to the nation, blamed it on the radical left days before the shooter was even identified. People have been blaming the left for several days, but we're learning over the past 24 hours that the shooter actually came from a conservative home. The shooter's own grandmother admitted that the entire family voted for Trump, was MAGA, was Republican. We know the shooter's family members, some of which were registered Republican. The shooter himself was an unaffiliated voter, however. So we have all these kind of drip of information, and we don't know the truth. The Guardian claimed that a high schooler said that the shooter was a leftist. The Guardian has since completely walked that back because it was untrue. The Wall Street Journal put out that transgender ideology bullet casing story. That turned out to be untrue. There's so much misinformation right now out there that is spreading on the internet, and we don't know what's true and what isn't, which is why it is so irresponsible for major media outlets to peddle these conspiracies and allow them to really blow up like firestorms on the internet, giving fuel to the fire. Because right now, folks, our nation is divided. I don't know if you've noticed, but it is not a cohesive nation. There is very dangerous activities happening in our nation. The assassination of Kirk was a horrific event. The school shooting in Evergreen High School was a horrific event. The political assassination of Melissa Hortman just a few months ago, a horrific event. We had bomb threats at HBCU universities, active shooter hoax at the Naval Academy. We had a bomb threat at the DNC, bomb threat sent to Rhode Island lawmakers. Those are all horrific situations. This is not a nation united in any way. And right now we're getting more and more information about where our nation stands. And at a time where it's so divided, it's up to the media to tell you the truth based on facts, based on verifiable evidence. That's what I try to do every single day. I want to give you the truth. So make sure to subscribe, like, and comment to support my work. Because right now, with so much misinformation out there, I'm not going to speculate as to the shooter's motives. I'm not going to say one way or the other who he is or why he did it. That's not my job. I'm waiting for law enforcement to conduct its investigation and release evidence. We need evidence. If we don't have evidence, we cannot, and it's irresponsible to speculate. And I refuse. I really do. I refuse to speculate. But we are seeing a major shift right now in our country. We're seeing the firings happening. We're seeing what Hegseth has this kind of purge within the Department of Defense. And we're likely only to continue seeing that over the next several days and weeks as we obviously get more information about the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And I just hope and I pray to God that all violence ends, because that's what we need to focus on, ending violence in America. But I'll continue providing you the truth, so spread the word, and I'll see you soon.